Hey, what's up? It's Ben here. So I did a thing. I went ahead and purchased a new car. I don't like the idea of getting a new car because then that means you'll get a new monthly payment, and usually that consists of a higher payment or just be more in debt. But I got a good deal that I couldn't pass on, and it was getting a 2022 Toyota Prius for $22,000 after all the negotiations and incentives. For some odd reason, it was still sitting in the lot and it seems like no one wanted the car and I had to get it. It's not that attractive. It's a 2022 Prius and it's not a 2023 Prius, but you know what? It's attractive. Come, take a look. So this is it right over here. White interior, which is cloth. And I have 60 miles a gallon and driven over 1,000 miles. I mean, it's okay, right? But anyway, this relates back to the previous video that I did on Robinhood. So now today, I'm just tying everything together so it makes sense for you guys and why I went ahead and put money inside my Robinhood account. So the idea is to use your existing money to create money out of thin air. I know this sounds abstract, but here's how I did it. And I'll break all the numbers down for you during this video. And the numbers will vary case by case and it'll obviously gonna change over time. But the idea will still be there. I know some people will bash me on this about saying things like this is not true, but if you have a working knowledge of investing, it could work. And like any investment, it's risky, but if you can manage your risk, everything is going to be smooth sailing. In this situation, I use my car as an example, but you can use the money to buy other things if you like a house, a boat, rental, tools, or anything that you want. So here's the breakdown of my numbers and why I personally think it's a good idea for me. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to be a good idea for you, but for me personally, I think it's a good idea for me. But I want to address that before you come at me with pitchforks and other stuff. So first things first, I have a decent amount of money in Robinhood, and I don't have like a crazy amount of money like you see on some financial YouTubers channel, but a decent amount and enough to buy a car. And I do have Robinhood Gold. And for those of you who don't know what Robinhood Gold is, it's basically allows you to access Robinhood's tools and more advanced features and also get a better rate on margin rates, aka the interest on the money that you borrow. Robinhood seems to have the lowest rates compared to other brokerage. That's why I use Robinhood. Since I have a chunk of money invested inside of Robinhood, I'm able to pull out a certain amount of it, which is the borrowed part. And as of now, Robinhood's margin rate is 7.25%. Keep that in mind because I'll be using that number later on. So basically, if I pull out $22,000, which I did, I would need to pay 7.25% of interest. And if I break it down to monthly, it'll be about $132.92 per month on interest alone. And if you're just looking at it to buy a car, you'll think it's a dumb idea because an auto loan rate nowadays are around like 6%, give or take. Now, why would you want a 7.25% interest that's not even locked? And whereas a 6% auto loan is locked and it's fixed for a certain amount of period. And that is true. And here's what most people don't think about. I could go onto these brokerages and like Robinhood, for instance, and take a chunk of money out, like $22,000 out. But obviously you need to have a significant amount of money invested first. So it acts as a collateral when you're taking out the borrowed money, which is like creating money out of thin air. And all of a sudden you have an extra $22,000 without jumping all the hoops of getting approval from banks or doing background checks. Then I could just go ahead and pay off the car with it, which I did. I get the title to the car. I don't need to go through their financing department to run my credit multiple times or with the lenders. In addition to that, which is the big thing that I really wanted, is to not have that debt or loan to show up on my credit report. And to top it off, I could just make the interest payment on it without having to pay interest and principal like a traditional auto loan. I could use the extra money to invest in other things if I wanted to. Now, do you see where I'm coming from? But this doesn't just stop there. Now, the numbers aren't going to be perfect, but the idea is going to be there. Remember, I bought these 5 dividend stocks, Verizon, Walgreens, Intel, Dow, and Cisco? Well, they give you dividends and they range from 3 to 6%. I'm still building them up though, and here's a chart of what they roughly pay. And if you average them out, it's about 5.12% dividend yields. And in the current market, it's okay, but it's not the best, but it'll do for me. Now, I'm not going to count inflation, appreciation, or depreciation of the stock since I'll be holding them long-term anyways and increasing my position over time or switching to another dividend-paying stock. If I were to just take Robinhood's margin rate and subtract the dividend yield from the stock, it'll be about a 2.13% interest that I still owe for the year. And if I put it in that perspective, it beats having an auto loan in that sense, right? Now take 22,000 and multiply it by 2.13% and the total interest owed will be it's $468.60. And then divide that by 12 months, my monthly payment will be $39.05 per month. And of course, you can argue that the feds are going to raise the interest rates this year again. So if that's the case, if this interest rates amount jumps to 3%, my monthly payment will be $55 per month. It's not going to make or break me, but I know that it's something that I could afford compared to other people who are making a $400 or $500 car payment per month. I'll let that sink in for a bit. Now, Ben, what about insurance, gas, and maintenance? And if you really want to go to that route, my insurance is $100 per month, and the gas would be about $65 per month, and maintenance is still covered by Toyota, so it's like 2 years for free. So all in all, just owning the car for me costs a little over $200 per month. And this thing gets me everywhere. I don't look sexy, but it does the job. Hopefully now you understand why I do or invest in certain things. It's always having a plan or goal in mind. Sometimes you don't make it big, and that's okay. Be happy with what you have. It's not a Tesla or some fancy electric car. I just wanted to share this with those who have been following me for a while and provide some insight on how you can use money to work for you. Hope you found this somewhat entertaining, and if you have any questions, drop a comment down below and I'll catch you all later.